1, 2, 3. Welcome. Welcome to a podcast about nothing with B
and AD. Hey guys, what's up, y'all?
This is the first time we're recording with people
in a long time, and we have a new setup. Do you love it?
This looks expensive.
Lights, camera, action. Hey, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. And we have guests.
You can say who's paying for all this out management.
The team.
Look at the team.
So we do have guests. Hey, as you guys see. Hey, where we looking?
All of them.
All of them.
Oh, we got all the set. We got the whole setup.
Where we looking?
I looked over there and was like, nope, shouldn't look there.
That ain't it. We do have guests too, very special guests to the team, behind the scenes team, in front of their own lights, but behind our team. Can't be more appreciative. Entrepreneurs in their own light, which
Introduce
are
yourself.
Fathers, brothers, sons,
husbands.
husbands. You guys can go ahead and introduce yourselves. Give the people your name, what you do, and how, and what you like to tell. Well, what you like to tell people you do.
What you want to tell the people?
What you like to tell people that you do? Okay.
Yudu Gray, and I am a glorified intern.
I like that.
Sound all right. Sound right for me too. I'm Ian Scott, and I'm just about the same thing. Just glorified.
Working hard.
What I tell y'all? We don't know what they do.
Right. Just don't know. Yep. They making it. That's it.
Just do what I can when I can. I do it. That's all.
You know. Okay. All right.
That's all.
So yeah, this topic, entrepreneurship, is something that me and V are actually trying to break into on our own, as you can see.
Good luck, everybody.
Hey, everybody. But it's always been an interesting topic because I don't feel it yet, you know? So when you hear people speaking about being an entrepreneur, and it's so funny because I feel like as soon as you get an LLC, people are like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. Sure. You know? And it's like, that's the biggest lie. So it's interesting to actually speak about people who I've known who've been in their positions for more than 10 years at this point. You know what I'm saying? And I really wanted to get people to understand my point of view and understand the questions that I want to ask you guys, because it's so much more than what you guys do on a day-to-day basis. It's so much more than how much you make and what color shoes y'all got.
Dang, yo.
So it's so much more than that. But and the people need to know, and there's no better time than now to discuss this with all that we have
becoming
going on.
an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Everybody doing their thing.
And nothing better than them being black as hell.
Yeah, everybody doing their
Exactly.
I'm excited about that. So yeah, go ahead, B. What you got to say?
I mean, yeah.
Ask any question.
So my main thing, I mean, of course, because when I think about entrepreneurship, I really just think about the money. And it's like, like when I think about the entrepreneur, yeah, like I told you, mine goes by when I see different things. It's like, oh, you can afford that now?
No, what? To me, when I think of entrepreneurship, I think of broke as hell.
But y'all been through the process. That's different on my end. I'm the outside looking at.
Shoot.
No, you're going through the process.
I'm going through the process. And yeah.
You're doing great. Tell her she's doing great.
I think the same thing as y'all think. I think is
you measure about
process.
different things.
It's just the process. It's like, am I really about to actually go out there and do this? And
So let me ask you guys this. Do you guys feel like the word that is described to be called entrepreneur, do you feel like one?
Like broke as hell?
I guess her description, or do you feel fancy and you got different color shoes, you can go to the mall and get whatever you want? How you feeling?
I feel both at the same time.
Yeah.
I feel like you're on quicksand. Like it never, you think there's this moment where you're like, oh, I'm good, but it never happens. Because the more money you make, it seems to be like more of everything. So it's like more money, more problems, more money, more happiness, more money, more sadness, more money, more. It's just more of everything. So if you can't handle it now, wherever you are, don't go into the entrepreneur, because you'll have more things. Like you said, better vacations, better food, better clothes. But you'll also have more bills and more grief and more people demanding more of you. and it's just as much stress. Like it never like, it's like just as soon as a big break comes, something follows it every time. Like, man, I just got my first 6-figure deal. Oh man, this person got a 5-figure medical bill. And like, everyone's looking at you to like take care of it. It's like, oh man, I just got my first major award. Oh man, I got a lawsuit right after. It's like, it's just like one after the other. So you take the good with the bad, but it never really feels like you're just like
steady ground.
It always just feels like, what's next? Good or bad, what's next?
Yeah, quicksand is the best analogy for me. It's like, honestly, it's like, all right, I'll be real with y'all. The realest rap quote I ever heard was what he just said: "Is more money, more problems." It was like the minute I started doing right, I feel like things just started to tack on, and I didn't understand how I didn't understand how to process everything fast enough. So, just being an entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, it's more just finding yourself. It's just finding yourself, finding who you are, finding what you're made out of. And just knowing if you can change yourself in any shape or form, you can sort of adapt to living like an entrepreneur. Like, as you guys know, I'm actually Adrian's older brother by how many years I got you by?
2.5, 2 and 4 months.
2-ish, 2 and change.
What? Y'all related?
Something like that.
What?
But like for me, it's more of just knowing that early on I just learned that if I can change something about myself, I can change anything about my life. So I was broke one day. I was like, I need some money.
Where's my pen and paper? Y'all know I like
rob no bank. I know that's right.
I was fat. I was like, I need to lose some weight. Like, it's always something I had to change. Always something I could do better. And it's the same thing into entrepreneurship. When you get into something, you know, all right, if I'm doing it this way, I know I need to do it this way to make it better. Change it about yourself, and that's all it is. That's all it is.
And that's been a constant thing.
Constant thing. As long as you can adapt, as long as you can be a chameleon, you can make it work.
I remember when I first came into the family, and Ian
Whose family?
we cousins. And Ian had that big like meeting with the family down here at y'all's house.
What?
When you were explaining to everybody about how you about to, you know, be an entrepreneur, you about to go out on your own.
He's so decent.
Yep.
That was
What?
a big deal for
I
me.
was look.
I just disagree.
That's not saying he's so decent.
I was sitting here. I was sitting on the couch. I was like, oh my gosh, y'all are so close and together. Oh my god, y'all got. You got the whole family together. That was dope.
Can it be story time?
Go ahead, story time.
Honestly, this is a real genuine story. Like, I was working at Dollar General at the time.
This man only had 2 jobs.
Yeah, like I was working at Dollar General, and I honestly, like, you know, in internet marketing, digital marketing, and the campaigns I was running were picking up. So like now I'm clearing my salary for like 2 weeks in a day. So I'm like, why am I still here? So it was more, but I'll tell you how entrepreneurship works. I'm making this money. I'm sitting here, I'm doing well, and I'm like, yo, I'm still hesitant to leave this job. I've already cleared everything I've made in 6 months here in about 2 weeks, but I'm still hesitant to leave.
The comfort.
So that's when I talked to my mom, and I was like, talk to my mom, our mom. Talk to moms, I'm like, yo, moms, I'm hesitant, I don't know what to do, I'm kind of freaked out. And I never forget, we're going to North Carolina for what's the beach house? We're going to beach house to go hang out with the whole family. And she told me, she said, yo, son, if you feel it in your heart to do it, pray about it and go do it. And she went with me to go give him my 2-week notice. Like, she drove up with me. Like, she drove with me to go.
Yeah, let me write it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she was like, let me write this for you. But it was a big deal for me. So
it's so funny because I actually remember you stressing about work over that beach house trip too. It was like he didn't know if he wanted to go or not, or wanted to take off. It was a trip. It was like a holiday or something like that. He really didn't want to know. My mom was sick of it. Like, listen here.
And I was tired. So when we went to the beach house, remember, I gave my 2-week notice on the way to the beach house. So I was like, stop, here you go. And when I got to that beach house, I never forget, I was like, yo, this is it. Like, I cannot look back. Like,
Dang. I just remember him crying.
About to bring me to tears now.
At the meeting. Yeah, I was like, dang.
I want to be able to cry telling people I ain't going to work no more.
That's what.
Okay.
Goals.
Goals. Okay.
Oh, man.
Dang, that's crazy. But I can always say, like, as I was talking to you guys before we started, that what I've noticed about him, and it's just about everybody that I've known to come into entrepreneurship, that it's always been a process. And from being his little sister and being on the sideline, I've always noticed him having a routine. That is a process early, a routine. When I say a routine, from this man waking up at 5 in the morning. We don't have to be at school till 7, okay? 5 in the morning, he'll take a shower, sit on the bed, play video games, eat breakfast, do this, do that. Calm as day walking to the bus, okay? Me? Shit. 10 minutes before the... Huh? What? Washcloth, let's go. Run.
Why you sound like it's Gladys? Huh? What?
I'm telling you, it's just so funny because I can see the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like how particular he's been about his stuff. Like I tell you all the time, like his mixtapes. Oh yeah.
Wait, do you still have the mixtapes?
Every single last one.
Igeman mixtapes, like it from volume 1 to. He's been consistent in everything that he's done, and it's weird because as a kid you're like, he's weird. What are you doing? Like, why are you making all this stuff? You know, like everything. Shoes, gotta clean them, gotta very particular. So seeing the way he is now makes so much sense to me. It makes
that's
so
why he's
much
able
sense.
to be successful as a.
Because me, I'm figuring it out. Like, what time we gotta be there? We gotta wake up.
Those are legal mixtapes.
So this is the first question. Besides what I've seen you do, what is a process or something that you know that was instilled in you early that you didn't recognize as a tool to your entrepreneurship, but happened to be very detrimental to how and who you are today?
I write everything down. Jesus. I write everything down. And like, I picked that up from my pops because he would write down everything. And then like, I'd see him in meetings. I see how like, even now like Thomas is doing it, following me. But my dad would he'd say something, he'd write it down, he'd do it. And that was always A, B, C. So for me, I can't do something without like, literally I write everything down. And if I'm gonna do something, I know it's serious because I've written it down. And down to like, us being married, like there's nothing in my life that I haven't written down.
Wait a minute, hold on, time out. Wait, you wrote that down?
Yeah. She's like, I want to see the notes.
What? Where? Because I remember telling you. Let me tell you. I remember telling you. He's like, we'll see.
Oh no, this is after. This is once we knew. But it's always part of a plan. There's always like steps to everything.
It's in my heart.
And that's like still to this day. If I don't write it down, it's not serious. So like, I write everything down and I try to list it out. I try to prioritize what I have to do. So it's like, if I have to check emails, I'm gonna write that down. If I have to pay bills, I'm gonna write that down. And then I like to see lists get crossed out. I get a satisfaction in knowing the things that I've written down and crossed out.
And
That's
it's
why
like
vision
single
boards are
sheets of
important.
paper just everywhere.
Right.
Like it's no notebook, it's no like planner, it's nothing that looks pretty. It literally is loose leaf paper, taking it back to the old school because I'm an old fool. It's that literally loose leaf paper. He doesn't care if it's college ruled or why, like.
And just writes it down.
And writes down
and
everything.
Then you wrote about you. I bet you wrote it in different color.
Gel pen.
Gel pen. Marker, you know what I'm saying? What's the curse about?
He probably highlighted it.
You know what I'm saying? Cursive.
Putting what? On the piece of
the glitter.
on the piece of paper, glitter,
There's a
sparkles.
power to it to me. I feel like it's almost like magic. Like if I write something down, it makes it real. It's not real until I see it, till I can like look at it and say, I'm gonna make $1 million. I wrote that down, that phrase down at least 1,000 times in my lifetime. From as far back as I can remember, I've written down, I will be a millionaire. As long as I can remember. So when it happened, it wasn't even like a surprise to me. Because like if I've written everything else down and it happened, why wouldn't that happen?
Dang. I need to get a notebook. I gotta get a notebook. I'm gonna write down hate mail in my diary.
Scratch.
Oh. Well, so does he. Nobody understands his writing. That's the important part.
Anything about yours, Ian?
My bad. What was the question one more time?
I
Your childhood.
Is there anything that you notice about yourself that is detrimental, that from early on, that has molded you into the entrepreneur and the person that you are today that I haven't basically said?
Oof. Mold is fear for me. There's always fear. Like there's always fear. I couldn't.
You pushed through it?
I couldn't figure out. I couldn't see myself being broke. Like just in general. Like you know, like we've had great family and that provides for us and everything. But I was like, yo, like I'm not with it. Like I'm not with the brokenness. Like I can't.
What was broke to you?
Broke to me honestly was just I didn't realize I broke until like I realized there was things I couldn't do. Like I was things I just couldn't do that I wanted to go do. Simple things like going out to go buy some shoes. And that. So that's why like
on a random day.
My first hustle was with our Uncle Sherrod. You know Uncle Sherrod.
Yeah.
And Uncle Sherrod had a t-shirt line.
I remember
and it was
that.
called Park Flavor. Still got the damn headbands in my condo right now. I still got them. I still got 2 of them headbands. But long story short, he was selling t-shirts, and I was like, yo. He approached me one day. He's like, yo, all you gotta do is this, this, and this. And I was like, yo, fam, give me them shirts. Everybody getting a shirt. Everybody getting a shirt in school. I'm like, yo, like I can't do this. And like I just realized, oh, you can actually make your own money. Like you can actually do your own thing. So it was just, for me, it was just the fear. Like what motivated me was the fear. That's why I checked on everything. Like I know, like to this day, I have a routine. Like I have a fire phobia. Like I just check the oven every night.
You know what's so weird? That's something I noticed about him too, but I didn't know where it came from. It was because he was the man in our house for a while, so he used to check everything every night. But I'm like, oh, look at him being the man in the house. But I know you was scared.
Like I used to touch. It was a fear thing. It was like, it was fearful. It was like I would literally, till this day, I still touch the oven with my hand
like he
to make
touched
sure that
it,
shit
turned
is
it
off.
on, locked the doors,
Like
turned off the lights, everything,
Really?
every night,
Like
every
single
night.
And I wouldn't be able to go to bed if I didn't.
And if he didn't, and I'm like, oh, big brother,
I checked the stove just to make sure gas isn't leaking.
So fear drove me a lot. Like fear was like, I gotta fight this fear. I'm not doing it. So that's what it was for me.
That's deep.
I was just following behind him.
Wow, get a life.
Like, oh my gosh.
Is there anything that you actually noticed about your husband that he probably doesn't notice, that you realize that, okay, this is his thing that he does all the time that is detrimental to what he does on a day-to-day basis?
I'm gonna have to think about that. Come back to me.
Now she wants to come.
You said that he does on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, or something that you notice that's like, okay, he says his is writing everything down, but you're like, nah, it's the way you get up and take a shower every day and get yourself together, or wake up at the same time. It could be anything.
He can't move without checking stats.
Numbers.
Numbers. First thing in the morning. It's the first thing he does. He wakes up, he doesn't check his phone, he goes to the computer, he pulls up everything, and he puts everything in a spreadsheet. Meanwhile, what? Yeah, everything has to be put into a spreadsheet before he does anything else. Gets coffee.
You know what I also notice about you? You're always ready. Yudu is always ready.
For what?
That's a fear.
Anything.
One of my biggest fears.
Yudu was always ready. You know what I noticed? We were in Miami. We were just going to sleep. Yudu was up, and I noticed he doesn't have a sleepy voice. You know how people get on the phone? He doesn't sound like that.
Oh, when we were just going to sleep,
and he was waking up getting on calls, and
Loud
he didn't sound
as
like
hell.
he was sleeping at all. No sleep in his voice. You know how people like,
that coffee voice.
he rolled over and was like,
yeah, hello.
Yeah, hello.
Like always, and that to me is like always ready. I would have been like, let me set
That's
this
true.
alarm. Yeah, like always ready.
Yeah.
For whatever opportunity came, always ready.
That's fearful. That sound all right.
That's fearful too?
Not fearful, but it's a little bit.
You need some fear in your life.
Yeah.
I need some fear in my life too. I'm scared of spiders. Oh man. All right, so we're gonna take a quick intermission. Here's a message from our sponsors. I don't know what camera. This is all new. Oh my gosh, what camera are we looking into?
We're looking at everybody.
Hey y'all, it's V
And AD.
and we got a little secret.
So if you've happened to scroll through our Instagram and check out our social media graphics, or head over to our YouTube and check our thumbnail graphics, then you know we've leveled up our life 100%.
Hell yeah. We partnered with our friends over at Design Pickle, and they gave us a little code to give to you guys. 50% off of your first month of graphic design essentials and custom illustration. All you have to do is plug in that code APAN50, and that'll get you 50% off your first month. That's APAN50.
50 and get like us.
Get like me.
And we're back. Thank you to our sponsors.
And a word from our sponsors.
Hey, guys.
Please sponsor us.
So we're talking about entrepreneurship. We're going to get into relationships with an entrepreneur.
Sounds like misery. It's like I'm just playing.
Sound about right?
Oh,
I'm just playing.
Sound about right?
facts. And then, yeah. So I do have a question for you, sir.
Okay.
Do you think your children should have jobs? Jobs.
Definitely.
Yeah, they better work at UPS.
No, what? No.
Yes.
Okay, so for example, Jaden is working right now. She's taking pictures, she's set up, she's learning all the things that I never learned as a child. And she knows what it is, well, somewhat what it is to be an entrepreneur. So are we gonna make her get a job to where she gets a paycheck?
Definitely.
So
You gotta clock in, sis.
and they can't work for us.
I mean, they could, but I wouldn't want them working for us directly. So if they could work for one of the companies we're working with or something like that, because I think it's important. They'll never appreciate it. I appreciate the joys of entrepreneurship because I had shitty jobs.
Facts.
If I didn't have those jobs, I would take a lot of what I do for granted.
That's true.
That's my reminder. Like you said, the fear. It's like I'm not going back to that. As tough as it gets here, is nothing compared to like having to go to work, like having to clock in or work for a boss who you don't like or who doesn't like you, or sick days and people passing
Having to
away, you're
ask
not
people
sure
to
if you can
leave.
it, asking permission. Like,
Permission for
I've
them?
never in my life,
Permission?
and I never
Oh,
will.
wait.
I'm just saying.
But what?
I'm just saying. Asking permission is like the hardest thing for me to do.
To take Christmas off.
Oh, because I've
Like,
told every single
Christmas?
person I'm never working for anybody else on my birthday. I refuse. Amen.
But your birthday is not on Christmas. He's talking about Christmas.
I worked a retail job. Retail, my birthday is blackout day. You
Day
can't take that
after
off
Christmas.
because that's the biggest day in retail. Everything gets returned.
Not black. Oh.
Everything gets returned. So they always say you got to work, and I say I definitely won't be working this job. Every
Yeah,
time.
even-
Every
but wait.
time.
But she got Corona symptoms.
But like,
Every time.
no, like at 23.
Every time. I'm quitting or I'm not showing up. Pick one.
I do think that.
Oh,
everyone
okay,
has
see you on the 27th.
Everyone.
So a
should
birthday is
go.
that big of a deal?
For me, I'm not everybody. No. Y'all should go to work on your birthday. That's what y'all want to do. I'm definitely not working for anybody else on my birthday. That's the one year I get. I mean, the one day I get. I'm not doing
Not
it.
Jesus' birthday.
He gave us that day off anyway. You know what I'm saying? He said y'all can take this off. Whatever y'all decide to celebrate. You can do Hanukkah fade days. You can do Christmas. You got a whole bunch of stuff to choose for. Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
We can do a bunch of
those
stuff.
jobs, the retail jobs, like they make you appreciate what you're trying to build.
Yeah.
So you're trying to be an entrepreneur for sure. Like it's different. You get to appreciate it. Go ask somebody for Christmas off.
So all the kids need to have jobs.
Jaden, I ain't say you have to have a job.
So you
Like,
gotta have a job. So
I'm
you gotta
saying-
have a job.
I'm
UPS.
just saying, I just want you to, like, I'm speaking to you directly, but I just want, if you're a child of an entrepreneur, just expects to work. I'm not saying you have to work. I mean, I don't have any kids yet. I'm just saying expect it, because the expectations of you all going to be high as hell from the jump.
That's
So
facts.
it's like, you don't gotta have a job, but just understand the pressure will be, we're putting the pressure on you. Like I put pressure on my little brother. I put pressure on people because it's like, I know it's there. So
You ain't say
That's
your
a-
little sister though.
she already pressured. She know what time it is.
What?
She
You
here.
know what?
The pressure is there. Okay?
Where is it?
Pressure
It's
on my
there.
back.
But I'm saying,
On my
but it's
side.
It's just though. I mean, I don't know if they have to work, but I'm just saying, I don't have any kids yet. I want my 10 kids one day. But I just know
Bruh.
that when the time comes, they will feel the pressure. And they will feel like I gotta go work. Like I gotta go bust a play.
I do think that's a interesting thing to instill on children to where they really want to work. I can commend the kids who want to go to work early. Because I only know a few of them. But who are like, no, I need to make my own money. Because every job that I was offered when I was a kid, I said no.
How old were you when you started working and making your own money?
Which one? Like making my own money or having a job?
Both.
Making your own money.
As long as I can remember. I've been making
Bro, you were not 5 years old making your own money.
As long as I can remember. Ask what I used to do when they had their parties.
You used to dance for money.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can dance and make some money. That ain't a thing.
As long as I can remember.
Oh my God.
No, that making money. See, I would make money doing certain things, but I'm just thinking like a serious job. Like every time it was like when I was young, nah, I don't feel like it. But if I can do it on my own, I would.
When did you start making money?
My very first job was 7th grade. Landscaper, got fired from that. But
wow.
Yeah, I was terrible in my field. That was my 7th grade, so I was what, 11, 12. And then the t-shirt hustle was like right the year after that. So, yeah.
No, how old were you when you started working at the church?
That was that was right after I graduated high school. That was my first real job.
When you went back?
I went back when I left. Yeah, when I left Georgia, I went back to Maryland for the summer.
Oh, okay.
I went back to Maryland for the summer, and I worked that whole summer with kids and all that at the church. So.
God bless y'all.
When did you have your first job?
15, 14. When we were in Montgomery Village, 8th grade.
Asbury?
Yeah, somewhere between 8th and 9th grade. Worked at actually Sunrise. Patrick and I got a job at Sunrise Retirement Home.
I was about to say, isn't that a retirement home?
Everybody worked there.
What are you doing there?
We used to do all kind of stuff, man. Like, so we used to empty the trash cans from the people's like rooms. We used to have to set up, like if they had like card night or card game night, we'd have to move the tables and chairs, take the trash out, like the trash from the kitchen and stuff. And then Pat stayed there a lot longer than I did. But I ran track, so like I couldn't work consistently. So I have like on and off, yeah. Sunrise, and then I worked at Famous Footwear, worked at
I remember that. I remember Famous Footwear.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
That was the move.
They was turned up at the Sunrise though, I bet.
Yeah.
The nursing home.
So what job can you say that you learned the most from?
I learned something different at every job, but the job that like I like, the one that stays in my head is Home Depot.
Oh.
Why is that?
Everybody loves that company.
Why is that? Yeah.
Well, I worked overnight.
You know how many times I applied at Home Depot and got turned down every time?
What was your what your references look like?
I wanted to work at Home Depot so bad.
I know a lot of people who worked at Home Depot and loved it, honestly. Like I know a lot of people.
I worked overnight. I worked 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. and like I remember like working really hard, and you're surrounded by like an overnight job like that. A lot of my coworkers like in their 40s, 50s, and these were dudes who were like, dude, like, what are you working so hard for? Like, you get paid the same amount. They'd say all these little things that I'd never really heard before. And I had a lot of ideas that I would take to them and say, oh, we should do this. We'd work more efficiently if we do this. And I remember, like, the manager at my store was like, man, you're really sharp. You could be assistant manager. And assistant manager makes like $60,000 a year. And I'm like 19. I'm like, oh, shit, like, that'd be dope. 60, no one I know makes that. And he got fired because the store didn't hit its numbers. Because in that world, if you don't hit your numbers 2 or 3 cycles in a row, you automatically get fired. And I remember before he left, his name was Sheik, East African dude. He said, look, dude, you got too much potential to waste it for other people. You should go work for yourself. And if it doesn't work out, you can always come back and do this. And I never really understood what he was talking about because I didn't know what the hell an entrepreneur was. I didn't even know it was possible. I knew I could make money. I'd always had a DVD game or CD game or something.
I remember.
But I never really thought like how to become an LLC, like you said, a business. But that company, because a lot of the ideas I had at Home Depot, today they still do them. Like I'll walk around and like look up in the rafters and I'll see like things that I put into place, like that I'm like, I gave them that idea. And this is a multi-billion-dollar company. So if I at 19 had ideas that made its way to the top, and like, you know, they'd have these walkthroughs with like the CEOs or the regional managers, and they'd always introduce me as like, this is the young man we're telling you about, who gave us the idea for the outside area, And again, you just take it for granted, but that for me always gave me the confidence that was like, oh, maybe I do know something. Because you don't know what you don't know or what you do know when you're a kid. But I just remember when I left Home Depot, I felt like, all right, well, if that dude who was a manager felt like I could do something, then maybe I should start looking into what that is. And it planted a seed. And it took years before I became an entrepreneur, but that planted a seed for me of like, A, this dude is saying don't waste your time working for other people, and B, this massive company is taking my little ass ideas and like implementing them around the world.
That's dope.
Shit. For me, it was, two jobs. The job at the church as running their daycare. It showed me real enjoyment. Like, even though it was my first kind of real job on paper, it showed me real enjoyment. It showed me like, yo, you can actually kind of do something that you love to do. So it was never an issue for me going to work
and make money.
Like staying.
Yeah, you like kids.
Ian love the kids. Love the kids. So that job just helped me just show me that I can enjoy something that I'm doing. But I would have to say Blockbuster Video. That company.
I remember
that
hearing
company
about
showed
Blockbuster.
me. I work with some of the greatest people.
He sound ancient, don't he?
Friends.
Blockbuster. He worked at Blockbuster.
It's funny because I mean, listen, like I work with some of the greatest people ever, but not but to them, but just to the company in general. Just like Yudu said, you put things in place that worked and they saw potential in you. For me, I saw the failure coming. I'm looking at. You have to understand. For me, I closed a lot of Blockbuster stores down. I closed like 2 or 3 of them down. Like helped close them down. So when I was in their business when it was sort of still in the end of their thriving stage. I mean, in their successful years, but then I was there for all the closing. So I was there for all of that. And fam, I'm telling you, if you do not know how to adapt, and you are in this building, I'm looking like we are going to fail. Like this is inevitable. It's just about when.
Especially with Netflix and you can.
And I'm sitting here at
with the
Netflix
DVD.
and Redbox. I'm looking at the stocks. This is why I started paying attention to the stock market. I'm like, what's going on with this company? And that's when I was like, yo, you know what? I'm logged in because I'm invested. I'm invested at this point. I'm actually logging into Blockbuster forums on Blockbuster. Other employees talking like, yo, what the hell are we doing? That lets me know that other people are thinking the way I'm thinking. There's a site called IHateBlockbuster.com. And people are talking about the company in this in this forum. I'm like, yo, so people are out here thinking like I'm thinking. And this one thing about being on a ship that is burning down, I'm like, listen, I know how to swim. I'm about to be up out of here. But they needed me to close these stores, and I did that. But I was prepared.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing I was prepared for. So it showed me what I should not be doing. I have to adapt no matter what. I've seen this billion-dollar company go up in smoke. I've watched it. I was with it. I was with it with the whole ride down. And that's why I learned the most from that company. I was like, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to be like that. I'm always going to find a way to make it work. But they didn't.
Literally, it's going down
But
the flames.
were they a French? No, they were a chain. Well,
chain, some franchises. You
Really?
can do both. But a lot of the stores were corporate stores. So I had them same walks. Corporate manager walk inside. I'll never forget, big black dude walk. And some people are going to hear this that actually work with me. Big black dude walk
That'd be
inside,
all right.
looking scary as hell. I'm like, yo, my mans, you gotta have to change some stuff around here. He just walk straight up. I'm supposed to tell him, like, yo, my man's like, hey, listen, like, this is what is going on over here.
Like, y'all going down in flanks.
And then you realize that some people here's a talk about entrepreneurship. Some people are there to just do their jobs.
Yep.
And then there's some people there to make this company better.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was, what I realized with Blockbuster. Not with my coworkers. My coworkers did their thing, but a lot of the upper management, I'm like, oh, y'all just want to get y'all payday and dip.
So let me ask you guys this, because this brings me to my next question. Because I consider myself a really good employee. Okay, every type of management job I was offered, hell to the no, I don't want that shit. No, I don't want it. Don't give me no more responsibility than I can handle. I'm cool where I am. I don't want it.
important to know.
I know myself enough to know that. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, a lot of people say that they want this life, right? They've said it. I probably slipped them and said it a couple times. I probably said it a couple times. But let me ask you guys, because you guys are the heads of the ship at this point in your lives, what is the biggest misconception about entrepreneurship? And how do you recognize an entrepreneur for people who come to you for that type of advice? And I ask this because you said like some people are there to just do their jobs. I know I'm the type of person some people kind of wouldn't want on their team because I I consider myself for a lot of people a good employee. I'm going to do my job and go home. I ain't going to do no extra. I'm not going to add no extra work. I ain't going to do no extra time. I'm not putting in I know that about myself. So how do you guys recognize that about people? And what is the biggest misconception about it that you've seen? Like, from the advice that you've given, a little piece of advice from the people going to the next level, what was the difference between them and I'm sure you guys get a million questions. What are the difference between them and the others?
But the biggest misconception of entrepreneurship is that it's a couple of things, but for me, I guess I could say it's you're fooled by how much time you're really going to put into something. Like, you are fooled of, you think you're about to sit here for 4 hours a day and make this work, when you're really about to sit here for like 16 hours a day and do this work, or all day long. You don't realize how hard you're about to work, even though sometimes you don't feel it.
Because you're so anxious to get it done.
Like, it's about to go down. So the biggest misconception to me is the time. You don't know how hard you're about to work. If you're gonna make something work,
it doesn't feel like hard work to you, though.
It doesn't some certain things. It just depends on what it is I'm doing. Okay. But this is one of them things people come to you and say like, "Yo, how do you get started?" It's no secret. Yeah. There's literally no secret to this. It's just, do you want it that bad or not? That's all it is. It's all it is. It's like, do you really want this? It's gonna show. It's gonna show somewhere. Yeah. And I've checked myself plenty of times over the years. I've gotten into so many different ventures that I realized I don't want because my work ethic did not pan out. Like, y'all know about, got into all kinds of things, movies, TV. I'm like, this ain't working. This ain't for me. Nah, I don't know about this one either. Like, I just know where my time goes. I know I'm gonna make this work. So it's just that's it for me, honestly.
Nah, I agree fully. I think the misconception is that because you work for yourself, you have more time. Like, people think it's more flexible, and it is the opposite. It's like, when I think of 2008 to 2012, I worked Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, every birthday. I missed funerals, I missed weddings. Yes. I missed children being born. I mean, y'all know, Auntie Didi and I pulled up and was like, "Yo, we haven't seen you in 2.5 years. We had to make sure you were still alive." And it's partly you don't realize how much time has passed because you're in it. Yeah. But it's also like, it relies on you to be successful. So I had to learn like how to break away and like put other people in position to run things. Because those first 4 years, I was in it. And like you said, 16 hours a day was like minimum. It wasn't, there was nothing else. It was just the thing I was building. And so like, it really wasn't until Davina came into the picture and started like slowly pulling me away and saying like,
you have a life.
Enjoy life. Like, you got siblings.
Thank God.
You're welcome.
You got responsibilities outside of business that if you're not doing it for that, then what are you really doing it for? And that's when I was like, oh, okay. And even with that, I still struggle with the balance. Like, Davina said, like,
You say 12, but it wasn't until 14 that we slowly went into being there and
until his kids were born is, I feel like, when you when Thomas was born was like, oh, okay.
It was 14. 14 when we moved. 14 is when we moved into the new space, right?
Well, us getting married was really it was the first time I didn't work. Our honeymoon was the first time I
didn't work. No, that's not completely true.
Then you gotta work on my
I didn't work before the honeymoon.
No, you worked on the honeymoon.
Yeah, but I mean, like, not.
He's like, I went.
I went on the honeymoon. That's what I mean. Like, I
went to the honeymoon now.
It wasn't 16 hours a day.
No, like, so we made a pact.
I worked 9 to 5.
Slept.
He slept for the first 2 days, dog.
I need the whole story. Told me down. So what happened is, like, I was there. So I'm trying to figure out what happened. So what I missed?
He slept the first 2 days.
It was like I caught up on 6 years of sleep in the first 2 days.
First 2 days of the honeymoon, And he probably would have slept a third, but I was like, dog, I'm partying with everybody on this damn boat. And I done told everybody about you, but nobody believes me. Everybody thinks I'm just here by myself.
I just got married.
You walk in the cafeteria like, hey, Davino. We've been here 2 days.
I'm getting free drinks, guys. I'm at the club. Literally, he slept.
I slept the first 2 days.
For 2 days.
Because like it was the first time, because we took a cruise. So when the boat left, there was no internet access for the first 2 days. Mm-hmm. It was the first time I could allow myself to turn my brain off. For 6 years, I had to always, you said be prepared.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is not being prepared.
I'm about to say, he always ready.
So the first 6 years of running a company, I always was worried about what could go wrong. What am I not thinking about? What am I not doing right? What could I do better? And from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep, my mind never stopped. And then when I slept, I dreamt about it. And then I'd wake up and be like, it's 3:30, I'm up, let me go. Like, because why go back to sleep? I got a few more hours. When we left the dock, and they were like, yeah, there's not gonna be internet for the first 2 days. And I was like, well, what do I think about now? And I didn't have anything to think about or worry about. I closed my eyes, and I literally woke up, and it was like a day later. I mean, it was like, yo, you slept for like 18 hours. It's like, shit.
And then went back, and then went back, and then went back to sleep. But we made a plan. I was like, all right, when we hit St. Thomas,
that's what the internet was.
Then we can.
He's like, all right, I get up for this.
I was like, yo, you can work, take calls, answer emails. And so when we were in St. Thomas,
got that little 1 bar Wi-Fi, that little bottle joint on the side. Bang it out. That's that one bottle one. You ain't got the 4 yet. You got just that one at the bottom. Like, yeah, we're gonna make this.
3G. That was.
In St. Thomas, it was like, all right, so where you could actually go off into the island for the full day. We went out for like an hour, and then we went back to the boat. Because all I wanted to do was eat and go talk to my friends anyway.
Not your friends.
I have friends. I literally have friends. All the bartenders, like drinks for everybody. On you, right, dog? No, just kidding.
Yeah, that's the biggest misconception. And we talk about it all the time. Like, if anyone's going into business, I'm like, would you do this if you won a lottery? That's like my question. Because if the answer is no, don't do it. Because like, same thing, we've had many ventures, and it's like, if I don't have that feeling, I know I'm gonna be lazy. Right. And you can't afford to be lazy with your thing.
Anything you do.
So it's like, if you win a lottery,
the meme.
That's a good way to put that. I need to start asking that question.
The meme you posted.
What?
The one you posted, and you were like, oh, this is my husband's voice. And I was like, all I can hear is like, Yudu's voice in my head. Like, if you give yourself 30 hours to clean the house, it's going to take you 30 hours to clean the house. But if you give yourself 3, it's going to take you 3 hours. It's like, I just heard the first line. I was like, look, let me get up there.
I remember when we had the studio, and we were doing really well. Like, we had this run of like just impressive months of like revenue and projects and awards. And I had an all-team meeting, and I think the team thought I was going to get everybody together to congratulate them. And in the meeting, I was like, gosh. Look, I said, when you're training when you're training as an athlete, if you really want to be good, the way you train is you train to run further than your distance. So if you run 100, train to run 110. Because an 100 doesn't feel like the full race. You learn how to run through the finish line. Mm-hmm. So I said, so right now we're winning, right? Right now we're doing really well, but we're not doing enough. You've got to do more. I said, so like we'll call it the push-up theory. Mm-hmm. If you tell your body you can do 5 push-ups, the 4th push-up feels hard. It's something in your mind where it's like, when I get to number 4, I feel, but if you told your body you were doing 10 push-ups, the 8th one feels hard. And if you said 30 push-ups, the 27th one feels hard. But the secret is, if you told yourself 30 push-ups, that 4th push-up don't feel like nothing. Because your body's like, you got so much more to do, dude. You don't have time to think about no push-ups. Right. So when I said that, like I remember feeling like this was my rah-rah moment. And I left, and the team hated it.
Bruh. Because it was like, how many push-ups are you doing?
How many push-ups are you doing? Like, you have to ask yourself that. Because it's not for me to tell you, are you doing a good job? Right? Mm-hmm. The world's already telling us we won Best Studio. We won a Grammy. We've got money. We've got all these things. So the world is looking at us like we're successful. But do you feel successful? Mm-hmm. Right? Is this the life you want? Because at the time, like the reality of it was like, we weren't rolling in dough. Like our team wasn't flush. We weren't like everybody got car, everybody's good. We're still struggling. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, do you feel like you're winning? And if so, relax. But if you don't, go harder. And the team was so upset at me. And the funny thing is, like, I didn't go back and apologize and say, oh, I'm trying to say this.
Nope.
One by one, since then, they've all come back. Every single person who had that and said, I get it now, big bro. Because once they went off and did their own thing, they realized, like, oh, I see what he means. Like, okay, you got verified on Instagram, but that don't change shit. Okay, you got your first 10,000 followers. That don't mean nothing.
Still
like,
gotta work.
All those act like it's always
the
a
work don't
thing.
stop. That's what I'm realizing.
And Davina was always the balance, right? Davina would be the one to be like, good job, guys. Let's have a celebratory dinner. And I think that's needed because people need, to feel like it's worth it.
Yeah.
But I also am like, but we're not going to stay in that celebration because our differentiators, we're going to pass those guys. The guys who are sitting there comfortable, they don't even know we're coming because they're celebrating. Right. And while they're celebrating, we're going to work. So that for me was like, whenever I see an entrepreneur, I'm like, what's your goals? And if they're like just regular ass, like, well, I just want to get on Billboard, I want to do this. It's like, I always try to push them. I always try to like think
so
bigger.
The house I sent you.
I saw that post.
The 40. It was 40,000.
You used to sit in front of the house for real? The Instagram post, I saw that. I was feeling that.
Every day.
I was feeling that. I know you did for real.
When we used to, like, our anniversary, our 1 year anniversary. What do?
Yeah. We drive to a house and we take out our
a mansion in DC. Our 1 year anniversary, we found this mansion.
Dream house.
Our dream house.
$1 million house in DC.
And we used to go sit in front of it and we would write out our goals for the next 5 years. And we've literally done that every year. Like people are like, oh, what you gonna do? It's your anniversary, it's 5 years. We're planning for the next 5.
Do we do stuff like that? Like, another theory. I literally.
Y'all make me feel like I'm living life wrong.
No, I mean honestly, like I know this sounds crazy as hell. We used to have family that lives in the same area as that Dollar General. Literally, sometimes if I passed it, I would literally. It's nighttime. I would stay in the parking lot. I would literally just drive and sit in the parking lot and just stare and like.
Can't even believe it.
And I've done it about a couple of times. I've owned some vehicles over there that I've like, and I'm just sitting there. I'm just like I've never come back here, but at the same time, it's still something.
I can't believe I came from here.
Thank you. That's what I'm like.
That's the same thing. I can believe that.
Do you do stuff like that kind of like not psychs you out, but at the same time, like it's just like moments or things that people do that. I guess things that you do that that would kind of remind you of where you want to go or where you came from.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay. We do the same shit.
So let me ask you guys this: do you guys consider yourself successful? I mean, what else you need? What else you need? What's going on? What changes or what is success for you?
On paper, not on paper. I'm just saying success. I don't know what it means yet because I really don't feel it.
You feel like you're just living life.
It just feel like I'm supposed to do this. It's like it's supposed to happen. I think I know what success is, but I can't really tell you.
So I also have it on my paper. Does it change? Like, does the meaning change for you?
Yeah.
Because I feel like for Ian, I've heard. I know. I hear Yudu speaking about it now. Generational wealth. But Ian is like, I want to make sure my family's good. My immediate family, everything is good. And it's like, we're good. So you feel like successful?
That's the thing. And
I'm not saying it like that, but I'm just saying like
you done yet? You done, bro? Because
that's the thing. It's always
that's
something
what I'm saying.
new.
So does it change or
It's always something new. It's always something like it's like you get older too, and you start to change things about yourself. I just turned old. And I just feel like
get my calculator out since we want to talk about
carry
numbers.
the one while you at it. But honestly, I guess when you get older, things start to change in your life. You just feel things differently. So successful might.
So do success and goals go hand in hand?
Yeah, I think like at this stage, I always, like I said, I wrote down I want to be a millionaire for so long that when it finally was like sitting with someone and they're like, well, on paper you're a millionaire now, and I was like, that's not what I meant. Like, it don't feel like it.
Yeah.
Like, well, what does that mean? Like, what do you want? And then as you start finding yourself in different circles and you start seeing like people who have generational wealth or people who have achieved a certain level of success, or for me it's the people who had their wealth handed down to them, and I'm like, damn, like your grandfather did what, or your father, like how
You're recognizing the skip of the generation.
Yeah, like I wasn't even thinking big enough. And then it was like I read Richest Man in Babylon however many years ago, and that changed my life, because then I was like,
literally,
I spent most of my life trying to figure out how to make the most money myself.
I understand.
But wealthy people's money makes money for them. And I didn't know that. I'd never studied stocks. I'd never studied investing. I didn't understand.
Because we were always taught to just go to work.
I knew how to make $1 into $2. I've been able to do that since as long as I can remember. If you give me $1, I'm gonna figure out how to turn it into 2. But it required me doing something. Then I met people who it's like, oh, my money just makes money for me, and I just manage risk. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. So like, that put me on a new level of like, what is success in a financial world? In life, I feel like we're happy. I feel like our kids are good. I feel like I have great relationships. So success daily there, yes. But in business, if you're talking from the entrepreneur mindset, I'm on a different wavelength now of like, I'm trying to figure out how many other millionaires I can make. Because that's the true measurement of success for me. It's
how
like,
many people come up under you?
Exactly. And it's not even under me. It's like with me. How many people I can touch and be like, let me help you be a little bit more successful. If I can have 2% here and 3% here and 5% here and 8% here, by the time I'm 50, 60, 70, will I have enough money that my money's money is making money for my kids to have a foundation? And I never want to spoil our kids. I never want them to like wake up and feel like they don't have to work, but I want them to have the opportunity.
Jaden turned around so quick. I'm sorry. She I never want to spoil our kids. I was like, yo, that neck was quick.
Like, wait, what you mean?
Break the round.
We already in East School.
Break that round.
Yo, shit.
I'm trying to go to one of these stagnant private schools.
Nah,
That's funny.
Everybody
That makes sense though.
I mean, yo, I learned a long time ago, yo, to keep the secrets to life inside books. So, keeping the secrets to life inside books.
I think it's with the old people. Well, not old.
No, I mean that.
Facts.
I do.
But
I ain't gonna say all elders, because some of them are salty, but a lot of them,
Wait,
the ones
what?
who are willing to give, I'm just saying, the ones who are willing to give up the good information about life, like the ones who keep the good spirits, because those are the people that I look after, keeping a good spirit. You could be homeless. If you got a smile on your face, I'll probably give you the time of day in a conversation. That's success to me, and I'm not gonna say all the time, but being able to smile in situations, because I'm not... You know what I'm saying? When I'm going through something, you don't know. No. I know how to be bubbly and giggly, and I actually don't take a lot of things seriously. But when I'm going through something, ain't no smiles on my face.
yeah, like that one time. But we'll talk about that later.
Matter of fact, the book Richest Man in Babylon, which is a great book, by the way.
You read that too?
Yeah,
y'all be reading.
Ooh, y'all bitches men in Babylon.
No, but one of the things he said in the book, which is kind of the reason why, like, I started like grilling my granddad before he passed away. God rest his soul.
Rest in peace.
They said in the book, a wise man's tongue loves to wag. So, long story short, it's just like,
What's what that mean?
if you see someone that's older, especially, and they ain't got much going on or whatever you think might be, just go talk to them. Like, they will run their mouth to the ground. So that book taught me that,
That's one thing. That's something that Davina instills in me all the time. Like, the old people got all the information. You know, they have all the information. They're willing to share. You should just. But I'm so like,
they want to talk to people.
You know, like, I'm so like, y'all got y'all people. Y'all been here before. I want to talk to people who figuring it out right now.
But you gotta talk to them, because it's like they've lived the life, and although everybody's life is different, so it's always gonna be new. It's like, those are the experts. You know what I mean? The ones that have the 1 foot right in the ground. Those are the experts. I mean, it's the reality.
So the croakies.
Yeah, it's the reality. Those are the experts because they live their whole life.
Yeah.
There's nothing new under the sun.
That's it.
Like,
I believe that.
now at this stage, it's so funny. Like, there are younger entrepreneurs I speak with who I can tell don't recognize, like, they don't know our journey. They don't know what we've done. They don't know what it took to get here. So I'll give people advice, and it's almost like they're like, yeah, no, but you don't understand. It's different now. And I'm like, no, it's not different.
Right.
Like, it's the same.
Same thing.
And they're like, nah, but it's different now because of social media. And it's like, no, it's still the same. And And I realize now, like, I was a sponge. I would sit and speak, and I'd listen. I wouldn't even speak to people, and that's how I learned how to engineer. That's how I learned how to duplicate CDs. That's how I learned all the skills, Excel. I'd sit and listen, and every time when I'd learn something, I'd be like, And then when a new thing came along, I would just apply what I learned from that person to this thing. But it's like, I see now when I speak, and it's why I take to young entrepreneurs like my man Kev, who like will sit and ask questions and just sit and talk for hours. I'll share everything because that's how I learned. But there's so many young entrepreneurs who feel like they've got the new thing. They feel like they figured out something that no one else has figured out. And you're not figuring anything out. Like, it's been figured out. There's nothing new. Advertising is advertising. Marketing is marketing. Sales, ops is ops. Legal is, it's like it never changes. And if you can take the time to find those people who've done it, find success as you've determined it. Just someone who's smiling and be like, why are you smiling? Like, what are you happy about? You'll learn something in that you can apply to what you do. And not too many people do that. And the people who do are usually really successful. It's a trait that I find in almost every successful entrepreneur, is their ability to sit and listen.
That's what I was going to say.
I think I listen to the wrong people.
Wait.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not saying that in the lesson, but like the people who are really sitting and ask questions are like the rebel old people.
But those, I mean, it's
like
not the wrong people.
The freedom fighters, like
that's just who you're drawn to.
The flame fighters of the build, they'll burn the buildings up. Those people.
Yeah, like
those
me.
Are the people. But I'm saying those are the people. I'm like, dang, that's interesting.
You need both. But yeah, Yudu, he sits and he listens.
Yeah.
He doesn't speak a lot.
That's true.
He does not speak a lot. He'll sit, he'll listen, he observes. He won't say anything. He'll go back, he'll study,
and
write some shit
everything
down.
That happened in the room. Like,
right, write some shit down, calculate some numbers, look at my dividends. And then he'll come back and say, I got it. In the middle of the goddamn night. 3 a.m. It's like, I got it. V, I got it. And I'm like, shit, we about to work extra hard.
So y'all making me feel like this is just a never-ending battle that we're going to be on.
It's not a battle. It's like...
Not a battle,
I do have a question for you, though.
What? What you want?
You said something earlier.
What else?
I ain't got my notebook. You said, like, you're not going to do anything extra.
I'm not saying I'm not going to.
What? Right, but in the space that you're in now, you're not going to do anything extra. I'm here, I'm going to do da-da-da. Do you think it's because you're working for somebody else? Or is that just the approach to work in general?
My needs change. I stress a lot about my stability. So, like, money is going to come first for me. Making money is going to come first. It has to come first. Because if it doesn't, I ain't going to be able to do nothing else. So if I do that first, I'll be cool. The extra work can come in when that is settled. When I was speaking about the extra work, it was for the actual jobs that I had. I wasn't going into work doing nothing extra. Y'all gave me a description before I got here. Y'all said this was the job entails. Okay. This is what I'm going into work to do. Don't ask me to, hey, you want an extra little 50 cents to get a management position? No, thank you. I don't want it, okay? You want this extra key so you can come in early? You can. No, thank you. Don't give me no extra responsibility. I'm going to come in and do what y'all say to do, and I'm going to go home. That's why I said I consider myself a good employee. It almost stressed me out to the point. I wouldn't say I like being a good, because when you do a good job. You should be something more? Of course, but when you do a good job for people, they try to take advantage of you.
Oh, fam.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? They try to take advantage of you. So sometimes I wish I was late. I wish I slept. I wish I didn't do half the stuff I did for certain people. But that's why I feel like I should be doing something for myself. But I got to make money first.
Fam, I remember one time I was managing someone that was getting paid more than me.
Yeah,
I was like, huh? Like, hold up, you report to me, but you make more money than me?
It's a serious thing. Like having to quit jobs because of personal relationships and like people not knowing how to act and stuff. Like, we are not friends. You know, like just other people and their BS. It's just ridiculous. I mean, but that's what I meant by like, if I'm going to clock in for you, don't expect nothing extra from me.
I'll tell y'all this though. Anyone working at these big 500 companies that got these big luxurious compounds and all that. just understand that they're doing a good job with disgruntled employees, meaning that now people don't realize that if you're working at Google and you are there 18 hours a day, but even though your shift is 8 hours, but you on your 9th hour getting a massage, and your 10th hour you're at the food lounge, and your 11th hour you're at the gym, they're doing a damn good job of keeping you on campus. So, say I have to say, like, your employer as well, they're finding better ways to put smiles on faces.
That's true.
They're doing a far
You
better
can demand
job.
more. You can.
You can demand more.
Nowadays.
So if you are disgruntled with your employer, just understand that there's wiggle room for a smile. There is definitely some wiggle room. Even with us, even we have many employees over the years that come to us, and we've adjusted a lot. Like my company, we've adjusted a ton to fit our employees' needs. So if you are disgruntled at home, don't be fearful of going to your supervisors or your bosses or whoever. Talk to them people.
Or your spouse.
I mean, that's just me understanding that about myself, though, that I can't just. That's why I'm with the type of company that I'm with now. I can't. Never met my manager. Never met my boss. Never met none of them people. I go in, do what I got to do, and leave. I like that.
True.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So my question for Ian is, what made you become an entrepreneur?
Answer that after these messages. Beep.
Beep. Did you write a script?
I wrote down with it. Okay, here we go. Hey, do you need something for your podcast? Do you want to be professionals like us? All you have to do is go to Podcast Outfitters. All right, we're going to do it for real this time.
Do it for real. You want to know how we became so professional?
And so famous.
So quickly.
All we did was we hit up Podcast Outfitters, and they helped us. They took us from the bottom to the top.
Ashy the classy.
They're backed by our good friends at Chuck Levin's.
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, and they definitely support women-owned, minority-owned businesses.
PodcastOutfitters.com.
They outfit your podcast.
Learn something new.
I just got really excited because this was a good take.
We have to finish the take first.
This is what? Welcome back.
Okay, we're doing good.
We are. How you feeling?
Amazing.
Saucy.
Oh, look.
Saucy. Shout out to the Gardens.
Oh, I can't reach.
Cheers.
Love y'all all, but can't reach.
All right. So just to recap, you had a question.
Yes. So what made you want to become an entrepreneur? Because I know you said you wanted to not be broke, but you could have been a doctor. You could have been a
Lawyer.
anything. Like, so
You
why
could have
did
went
you
to
say,
school.
I'm gonna learn how to make money myself?
It was more, I guess, honestly, it kind of came because internet dating, I guess, is the same thing. I kind of saw the avenue I could take in order for me to, like, make money. So when I saw that I can literally advertise to people and they will buy whatever I'm selling online, that opened up my world. It was like a whole new world. So like going through internet dating and then seeing this new world of possibilities of selling people things, I was like, yo,
it sounds bad, but have you ever tried to sell yourself?
No. But I'm sorry. Yes. I meant to say.
Like you put your own pictures on the internet, like.
Oh no! I haven't tried to put my own pictures. No. I mean, like once I figured out, because I was so prominent, like I was doing so much online dating that I knew what I would want to see. So that's why it became easy for me. I was like, oh, this is easy work. And so that was it for me. It was just like seeing the world and like, oh, I can control everything here. One of my biggest fears about online, entrepreneurship was like kind of always sales. Some of the first jobs we get offered were young and selling things door to door.
Yeah.
Young black man, young black kid walking to someone's door just didn't picture right to me. So like now it's like for me, honestly, one of my biggest satisfactions is people don't know who's selling them this product. Like my primary demographic is middle-aged Caucasian women that have no clue who's sitting on the other side of that product selling this to them.
That's exciting. That will probably give me a little thrill.
You can't judge me. Like, you can't judge me. I know people where in the community I live in, I just go in sometimes I go in my CRM and type in my zip code and in the addresses nearby, and I can pretty much point to people in my own building that have bought my product.
So what's considered middle age?
Middle age is like,
I'm just playing. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
What's considered Caucasian?
25.
Scandinavian.
That's what it was for me. It was the control. It was the control and just knowing. But how about you though? Like, what kind of made you?
That's dope.
So our family is big on education.
Tough.
And I try to put patterns in things. So my challenge was I knew I wanted to live a certain type of life, and everyone I knew who had a college degree didn't live that life. So that was like a big question mark for me. It was like
college degree was a precious waste of time, but
it's like everyone's pushing for me to go to college. Everyone's pushing for me to become this educated person. But everybody I know with a degree get their lights cut off. Everybody I know with a degree, car engine break and they can't do nothing about it. Everybody I know with a degree, maxing out credit cards and like bill collectors call them. So I was like, well, that's not the answer. And it wasn't that I knew entrepreneurship was the answer, but I knew that the college educated get a job route wasn't. And then when I started making money doing whatever I was doing at the time, I loved, like you said, control. I loved that I could say, oh, I got to make this much more this month, and I could do it. And I didn't know anyone else in my family or in my life who could do that, who could just wake up and be like, I think I need to make an extra $1,000 this week. And if I worked harder, I could make more money. Right. So that to me was like game changing. It was like at the studio, we would have meetings at the beginning of the month and be like, all right, I'll go for this month as X. And we would randomly call numbers out, and then we'd work to make that number. Right. And every time we called out a number, we'd make the number. So it was like, what if we add more to it? What if we try to make twice as much? And then we make twice as much. And it's like, well, wait, what if we wanted to make this much? And it just kept growing. So the more it grew, the more I was like, wow, I'm pretty sure no matter how hard anyone in those fields work, they can't. They're not like, oh, I'm going to make an extra $20,000 this month, and they can just do that.
Facts. There's a ceiling.
I can honestly say with you two, I'm from the same family. Hey guys, that I can say that the ease in the transition that I was done in is commendable. Because a lot of people like the transition. It was not stressful. You guys have handled people coming to you guys for things very well. Because that's one of the things I feel like I battle with. You know how I always say you got to ask for the problems that you want. One of the problems I feel like when I do, I'm not going to speak down to myself. When I do come into that position, people coming to me for stuff is going to be hard for me. Because I'm going to say, hell no. Okay? But I can feel like I'm one of those people right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like too many people crowding my space. I keep it to a minimum. Daily conversation with different people is to a minimum, everything. So the ease that you guys have done it with has been, pretty cool.
I don't know about ease.
Just make it look
easy.
From
the outside looking in, you two together has been good. I always say about Ian, it's like he was in the basement. I didn't know what the hell. Then he just, I'm moving to Buckhead. You like, oh. That's what it was. Like we were sitting in the basement one day, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm moving out, yo."
Yeah.
Then he was gone, and he ain't been back since. He pulled up with the porch, and we're like, oh. Exactly. It's like he went from working one store. He worked from working one store to working another. He was in the basement hibernating, okay? Not saying too much. Going to school, going to work. We going chilling. He's like, yeah, I'm moving. Then he pull up, yeah, got a porn show. And then not even him posting, his friend posted on Facebook. You're like, oh, okay. I see how y'all living. But the transition, I will say, is commendable because you have to, you really have to think about it. People, I consider myself to be black and to be African American and to be African. You know what I'm saying? There's three different entities.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, ask me later on. But the instant gratification that black people have or need, you know what I'm saying, is something that cripples us a lot, you know? But being that I was able to see the slow transition in him not to get his car repoed and to not have his bottles taken away from him in his house, or his house foreclosed on him and stuff like that. That's commendable because you don't see that. You don't see people coming up and not going backwards. His stand, like, you don't, I'm not gonna say he doesn't like nice stuff, but he don't care about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff has never been
a TV, video games.
Right. He's not a stuff person. So it's just like, y'all being good makes me know that he's okay. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's always been okay, but him, Ian, he gonna take care of himself. I know that about him. I'm all right. I'm coolin'.
You walking like this? I mean, new sweatsuit. Yes.
Ian's always been like, you know, even like I said, a routine when he was younger. His outfit's always been from the head to the toes. Been one and the same. I'll come all baby blue today. All red tomorrow. Might wear all white. Think I'm ready to.
I made it.
I'll say he always he always give me a hint of like, yeah, he got a little $20 bill in his pocket, like a little extra 20 in his pocket. But you know, I can see the difference. But I will say that's commendable to you guys. So
Yudu he used to always have this saying, "I'm not gonna show it because I don't want nobody to shoot me." That was his thing. He never wanted to show not his success or our success, but like. It was like, yo, I don't want anyone to shoot me. And I used to take that literal, like...
She probably walking around
like, dog, who you got after you? Like,
right.
Did you not tell me something when we said our vows? But it was more so like, I don't want to lose the people that's closest to me. And when you show your success, then people just kind of start to fall off. And it was something that we had to become okay with. And that was the hardest thing. And
so that hurt your feelings, like people falling off.
It didn't necessarily hurt our feelings. I'm speaking for the both of us, but it hurt my feelings. Fuck that! It hurt my feelings.
Like
no.
I mean, I kind of mad.
There was a
both
team.
Of you, like y'all.
There was a team. I remember a team.
So I mean, I'm saying just because of
a lot.
Lost like a lot of like people.
Yeah, it's hard. Like when you're starting out and it's just a vision and everyone's in for the vision, or everyone who comes on board for the vision, there's a magical moment where nobody got shit and we all just in it, and every dollar we make, every success is great. And then like it's kind of that work thing, right? That like, would you do this for free, or how hard are you willing to work? When you get to a place where some people are more comfortable living in that current success and you're not, the separation starts happening. And
people get jealous.
You have two options. Either you stay with them in a place that you're uncomfortable, because it's like, I know we can do more, or they come with you in a place where they're uncomfortable and it's like, this doesn't feel right. And I spent a lot of time trying to force people to come up with me. I spent years trying to, like, specific individuals who I cared for was like, come on, dude, we can go. And then when it finally got to a place, and it was when Thomas was born, it was like that changed everything. Because, I mean, with Jaden, it was always like a co-parenting. So it was always like partially responsible, but partially. So I'm not like, it's not just on us. When Thomas was born, and I remember like the first time I held him, I was like this is the first time like I'm fully responsible for someone. Like I can't mess this up. Like there's no fallback. There's no like, if I get this wrong, there's someone else to catch it. So then at that point, it was like that day, everyone around me knew something was different. I could tell, they felt it. And that's when people started falling off, because
it's like they went into a cave.
I started moving different. I started being like, all right guys, like we can't waste that time. Like we gave away thousands of hours of studio time every year to people that we just like looked out for.
Wanted to do
Thomas
good.
Wanted to change, like it was dramatic, and it was on us. Like I feel bad because I could have handled it better, but I'm a very drastic person when I like land on something. So I literally changed everything. I was like, no more free studio time, no more this. We're hiring a studio manager. We're partnering with this person. We're creating these revenue streams. And it was like for the people who were just kind of used to like, yeah, we hang out with celebrities and we have this cool studio and whatever we make is cool. To them, it was like, wait, this much structure doesn't work for us. And I was like, all right, well that, like, I'm sorry. Like, then we have to separate. And then it was funny, like we separated and our lives took off. And it literally was like taking weights off.
Dead weight.
Damn.
I don't want to call it dead weight.
And I hate that feeling of like, but you're right, it is. It's like, because you're not the same person. I'm not 30-year-old Yudu. I can't be 30-year-old Yudu. So 38-year-old Yudu doesn't look at 30-year-old Yudu. Like, I look at what he did and I'm like, wow, that's really good for you. But that would never work for me. That wouldn't work for my situation. So, but the problem is those people still wanted that 30-year-old Yudu. And I'm not 30-year-old Yudu. So when they say money changes you, success changes you, like it changes you and the other people. But that's just life.
Yeah. I always say that money and success changes the people around you. Because you've always had that drive in you. That's the reason you became an entrepreneur. I've always been distant. I've always not come to these family functions. But then when I start getting the money, then you start acting different because you feel that I owe you something. It's not that
it's a weird thing to see from the outside. Just not even directly how people treat me and affects to him. I've cussed so many people out. It's ridiculous.
Bro, you can't just go around cussing.
Why not?
What? We talk about this all the time.
Why not? If you ain't gonna do it, somebody gotta do it. Why not? It's so crazy how people think they should come, what they feel like they deserve out of somebody,
and what their expectations.
With their expectations. It's just like, I don't even expect this out of this person. How the hell?
It's funny, like, people that ask for stuff, and it's like, you know, for the average person, like, man, I'm trying to do this. Can you give me like $10, whatever, $20? It's like, for us, it starts at like thousands. People just like, hey man, trying really hard, lost my job. Can I get like 5,000? It's like, whoa, like, in what world do people just give $5,000? What world is like, does it start at that crazy number? And who would you give that to?
And with nothing to show for it, it's like, you, what? How'd that happen?
Expectations are like, oh, I know y'all got 3 cars, let me get one. It's like, I don't know how to deal with like that level of thinking.
I'm so glad no was my first word.
Uncle Elwood lesson right. Uncle Elwood said, yo, only give out what you're comfortable with losing. I'm like, all right.
And I ain't
10 years old, he told me that. I was like, all right, do what? All right, here, hold this $5.
I can't lie. Uncle Elwood has taught us a lot of lessons.
Back for the tax to go back and
Uncle Elwood has taught us a lot. And this,
financially.
I
will say they keep that money in that household. They keep it tight.
Yeah, and not just that. I think in like business and in life, I was always sitting in the background listening to Uncle Elwood talk to Yudu. And everything he said, it was like later on, when you're just starting out, you're like, yeah, I mean, I guess. And then later on, you're like, damn, he was right. And then Uncle Elwood and I would have conversations, and he's like, you have a value, V. You have a value, Davina. Like, what is your value, and what should you be getting paid? Doug, I don't know. We just starting out. I ain't getting paid nothing.
He would tell us that all.
And he would say, well, at least write it down. Like, keep tabs. You may not get paid anything right now, but like, you should be getting paid. I don't know. And then later on, you're like,
that's a hard thing to measure.
It is.
Value is hard to measure.
It really, really is.
Because $100 million cash.
So here's a weird question that I could say caught wind of. Do you guys actually, like, you guys have done well, you guys actually have people that, I don't want to call them haters, but you have people that dislike y'all? Like, just because of what y'all have been doing, and just, you know, like, dislike.
I feel like the people would dislike Davina.
What? Yeah, probably.
Because Davina is so sweet, but when it's time for her to be an ass,
I don't think it's dislike, but I think there are
conversation for another day.
I think there are people who don't understand it, and so people get frustrated, and I think that's what it is. They don't understand it. They look at it and they see from the outside like, oh, they think this, or they think they are that, or they think they made it now, or and it's like, nah, they don't know the struggle. They don't know like the stresses that come with this. But it's hard. I struggle with it all the time. We don't show 95% of our successes because I never want to feel like I'm gloating. But at the same time, I want to make sure people feel like motivated and like know it's possible. Davina shows a lot more than I do, so I'm sure, like you said, people look at Davina's stores. They be
seeing that fancy.
Here they go traveling again, or here they go shopping, or whatever it is.
All out.
And, but I think they just don't understand. It's like, again, when we were trying to come up, it felt like there was a lot more support because it's like, oh, good job, guys. Like,
of course.
People would say, oh, you know, if this doesn't work, at least you can get a job. Like, I think people enjoyed saying that much more than I'll ever enjoy saying, man, y'all really did that. Like, man, y'all did that.
People also want to feel like you're coming up with them. And as soon as you pass them, it's like, oh. Yeah. Fuck you, basically.
And it's so crazy because you don't even get to determine that. They determine it for you. Like, oh, you feel like I passed you. Well, kudos to me. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to me. Well, I'm doing great. Because you think I'm doing better than you. I'm doing amazing.
Sweet. I'll be oblivious.
I don't think hate. Why do you think people hate me?
No, I don't think people hate you. I say in comparison to you guys, I know he doesn't pay attention to people who don't like him. You're the type of person, you're petty enough to pay attention to them for a small second. You won't give them every energy, but everything, but you will definitely give them the time of day at the time it's needed. That's all I'm saying.
Facts, because I'm definitely not double tapping, and I want you to see that I saw your story, and that I unfollowed you.
I don't know. I got love.
I'm gonna see your notification. Hey,
I don't hate nobody. I just don't talk to none of y'all.
I'm saying I'd be oblivious. That's why I asked the question. I'm like, I don't. Adrian knows I'm super oblivious. I don't know nothing that's going on outside of what I got going on. So I don't know, but I got wind of that about, some, not people, but just people from the past. And I'm like, oh, why do you feel that way?
People are really upset at what you're doing. It's like, wow, you painted me out to be amazing. And I can't even be mad at you.
It's all in their perception on how they view you. Exactly. But hey, go ahead. Proceed on.
Do I want haters? Maybe a couple.
You have a lot of. I feel like people.
Ain't
nobody gonna dislike you.
No, people. I'm sure somebody dislike me.
Nah, you block them.
Who, me? You don't even give them a chance.
You right. I don't even give them the time. They be like, well, who don't dislike what?
So real quick, we got a couple of more minutes, seconds. This whole come up thing. And
this is a real conversation.
Yeah, Dr. Dre and his wife of 24 years are now getting a divorce. They have 2 kids. She wants half. Ready?
Oh, she got 2 kids. She deserves it.
Hold on. You shaking your head no too quick.
Oh, okay. Not me, right?
Okay, why? Why no?
She went on the gym shooting.
She what?
24 years ago is what?
That's before the beat son.
24 years ago is what?
That's like the Chronic. That's the Chronic.
That's when Eve got son.
Yeah, Chronic.
The MySpace?
Half is a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure she'll get it.
Half is a lot?
It's a lot of anything.
Half is a lot.
Half is a lot.
We'll talk about this later off camera. You know what I love the most about Design Pickle?
What's that?
Is that they have fresh stock, which is 100% original work from their team of artists, and it was built to fill diversity and inclusion gap in stock images.
Which is crazy that we even have to ask for pictures that look like us.
I didn't even know it was needed, and they were years ahead of the game before the world went crazy and realized that we were actually black. So, Design Pickle has actually given us a code, APAN50, to give you 50% off of your first month. So you can go and create designs that look and feel like you. Shout out to Design Pickle.
Hey.
They definitely are a part of our team. Make them a part of yours. And we're back.
Hey now. This has been a good one, guys. Thank you.
It
guys.
has.
Thank you.
Hey, so to come up.
Who
made it?
On the podcast.
Hey.
I feel kind of Hollywood.
It's been a long time coming.
I asked you to in the very beginning. Thank you for being on there and believing in us.
He was after 4 episodes too. What you talking about?
No, he was there.
Where?
Second. Oh, it was 4 episodes?
What's that?
No, he participated in the first one. He ain't start helping till about
over there.
Over the yeah.
Yeah. Something all right.
Y'all ain't believing us.
Nah, I believe in y'all. Y'all liquor now? I'm believing y'all.
Yudu was like, all right, get 3 episodes on it.
He said 4. He said at least 4 out because that was a month. We said every Wednesday. He said get 4 episodes out and I'm going to take y'all seriously.
I tell y'all this though, honestly, people are watching y'all grow. People are actually reaching out to me about y'all, and I'm like, yo, go talk
y'all see my hair growing?
So, people are watching y'all grow. Like, people are watching y'all.
You ever see somebody lie?
People are growing with y'all. So, you're going to have some people, when y'all start touring and doing all that, people can be like, oh, it's day 1. I'm like, all right, dude.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Where we going?
We got nervous.
So I do see. So.
I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
I'm gonna start whispering like Janet when I get
I
famous.
seen the little comments you be making. I seen them. So
You heard your sister?
what you say?
I'm gonna start whispering like Janet when I get famous.
How that look? You can't even take it all so serious. Okay, go ahead. How you gonna sound?
Hey, Ian.
You shy? You shy now?
Yep, that is funny. What were we talking about? Because you said something.
We gotta change. We gotta get a whole
Another-
whole other person.
Where?
It's like the other person.
Oh, like
when we get famous, it's like.
Salt, pepper, and Spinderella.
What?
Like that type of other person?
Yeah, like no, not another person to be with us. We have to get a whole nother like persona. We gotta switch it up on them. I'm gonna start wearing prom dresses. Oh, I've changed my Instagram name already.
Oh, again?
I'm gonna get on Instagram. I'm gonna get on there.
I felt like a real artist when people were like, "Oh wait, you changed your name," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm the artist formerly known as Davina.
You did for the culture.
I'm V now."
V.
Yeah.
No, my lazy friend started calling me AD.
You what?
No, seriously. She was like, Adrian. AD, that's it. AD, that's it. It's too many names, too many syllables.
Start
That's
calling
okay.
everybody Instagram names soon.
That's what everybody start calling me.
Your mom did do a lot with the
that.
letters in your name.
It's just the syllables. It's Adrian. Like, dang, you ain't done
like
yet?
what goes first, the I or the E, and then it's N, and then what after that?
E. That's it.
It's a lot.
You stressed? You stressed?
So stressed. All right.
So, yeah. What do we ask? Dr. J.
He was shaking his head no a lot.
50% is too much.
It's not to you?
It depends if I'm on one end or the other. It depends on what end you're asking about.
Exactly.
I promise you this.
If I'm on the receiving end, I might not feel like it's too much to give up just to be giving up.
All right, I think there's two different situations here. What is wrong?
You're thinking about it all. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Just right there at the court. Just here.
Half.
Just half.
Hell yeah.
Like
You got 2 houses.
And it's
now
not
Two kids.
You got 2 cars, now you got 1.
just like that. Oh no, yeah.
Think about your situations right now. Half will be very difficult for you. So this is your
No, but
way.
we already decided that. We knew, but that was my prayer. So I said, if I'm going to get married, I better meet that person before things take off.
Because she going to take it all.
Because if I were successful, I wouldn't trust him.
Cheaper to keep her.
So I prayed to God. I was like, all right, I'm about to do this thing. I'm about to go all out. If I'm going to settle down, it should happen now. Because if not, I'm never getting married.
How soon into your idea did you meet not meet, because we know y'all met before. But did you reconnect with Davina? V. What are we calling you on camera? V.
We connected that wintertime.
Of you just starting.
No, before. We started September 1st. Today's the anniversary of House opened in 2010.
Oh, shit.
Oh, okay.
Facts.
10-year anniversary of House.
Congrats, y'all.
That summer before you moved up, that spring we started officially dating. We reconnected like that winter.
No,
around
we
then.
started, what?
Look, he said
What?
That's called love right there.
he remembers
That's
the
called dates.
timeline.
It's called
Right,
receipts.
everything happened.
What's the
So
spring?
what you remember? Because obviously it sounds different.
Remember his first name.
I was like, hey, can you be my Valentine? He brought me a big card.
Valentine is spring.
No, it's not. That's winter.
That's winter.
Bruh. And then he said, hey, will you be my girlfriend? And I
So
was
basically,
like,
you
hold
guys
on.
didn't date.
You formally asked.
Not really.
You guys didn't date. It was like, hey, I remember you. Remember me? Let's move here. All right, we about to do this business.
It's kind of how it felt.
That's how it felt, yeah. But he was willing to move to Georgia.
Because the studio I was working at had just closed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew I wanted to run a studio. I knew I was going to go all out. I was going to do my own thing. Because I ran that studio. So even though it wasn't my business, I ran the whole thing. So when it closed, I was like, all right, I'm gonna take all these relationships that I've gained and all this knowledge and start my own thing. And Atlanta was like popping. Like Atlanta was like.
What year is this?
Well, I was
2010. So like,
you can't tell me what turned up.
Yeah, the trap and internet music scene,
swag rap,
SoundCloud was like just starting to pop. Spotify didn't exist yet. Like Instagram didn't exist. Twitter was like brand new. Like it was like the beginning of it. And I was like, all right, well, if any time, now's the time to go to Atlanta, or I'm gonna do it here. The difference is like DC had all the connections and relationships, but I could be me anywhere. I felt like Atlanta was where it was.
That's exactly what he said to me.
So that's when I was coming down that time and seeing y'all, and Davina would come by, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna move to Atlanta and open a spot down here. And then you came up and visited, and we
walked through Bethesda, and literally every business owner came out and said, "Hey, Yudu." Like
we're famous.
He knew everybody. He had connections with everybody, and everyone respected him. So it was like, so you're willing to give all this up to move to Atlanta? You crazy? We moving up here? We're not starting over. Like you already have this.
Not to go off track, but this just makes me think about it because I realize regular people don't know you. It's only like the CEO of the building, the owner of the building, the person who work in the back and own the stuff at the top.
To bosses.
Like I noticed that now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait, regular people don't know this man. Like, what do you do?
I work hard to stay out of people's attention. I work very hard to make sure that like I'm not all up in the videos, all up in the like I'm not trying to be Puff Daddy. Like, and no disrespect to Puff, but
I'm just trying to shake 2 times across the camera.
I want to make sure that like I'm putting people on. So when like people would come, when the artists would come to Avalon, the studio I worked at, I spent all the time with the managers because the artists would be in the room creating, and the managers would be the ones in the lobby. And again, that's sitting and listening. I would sit and listen to like APAN came to Avalon once, and his brother Boo was with him. I spent 3 hours talking to Boo, who eventually became president of Def Jam. So like, because of that, now I have a contact who's running Def Jam that like, I've got a studio, I can get Def Jam artists. It was like all these weird things, but like while everybody else would be excited to work with
the artists,
I'm in the back with their managers like, so how does touring work? And like, merchandise. So I never thought about that. And a booking agent, what do they do? And how do they get paid? And a lawyer, what's the difference between a lawyer and an agent and a manager? And that's how I learned the game. I literally would learn from the people who were doing it. And these were all young guys, but they just knew the business. So the time I spent learning from them, that was my school. So yeah, when I go in the building, it's like everyone else will run up to the artist and like all those people and be like, oh, I know this
You'll
artist.
Run up to the owner. Like
the artist will recognize me, but the managers will be the ones who be like, oh, what up, you? Like, how you doing? Or the like you said, the A&R, the person who's running the machine, because that's what always fascinated me. I never wanted to be the artist in the spotlight. I never wanted to produce and be like, look at me, I can make beats. Like, that was never my shit. I always wanted to be like, who's writing the person's check? Like, when I see like, yo, Travis Scott just signed a $6 million deal, I'm always like, who wrote a $6 million check? Like, I don't want to get a $6 million check. I want to write a $6 million check. Right. So I spent my time learning, like, even with the sports. Like, I love being an athlete, but the thing that made me sick was like, it still felt like I worked for someone. It's still like, people would be like, man, that's great. You got to deal with them, and they wrote you a check. And I'm like, yeah, but how can they write that check? Right. That's because I can't write that check. If you write me a check for $100,000, I can't write a $100,000 check. What are you doing that you can write a $100,000 check? That's what I need to learn. Right. So that was where I spent all my time.
Oh, so you just don't like.
Well, you know your position. That's cool though.
Yeah.
I just had to ask that question because I'm thinking in my head, like now, like you said, all the business owners, even when we would go out starting this podcast and seeing how highly people would speak of him, it's like, how the hell? But I get it. It makes sense.
If God forbid, if anything ever happened, like it's already half hers, like that. But that was it was all or nothing for me. It was like,
let me hold $6,
just as much yours as mine. But there's no way I could have built success, gotten married, and then had someone take half. Like, no way.
Does Dr. Dre have kids?
He had four other before, and then he had 2 with her. And they've been married for 24 years. Again, success is a very skewed thing.
I mean, she can get a third. I mean, she got kids
Not
with
a third.
I mean, no, she got kids with. She had kids with.
Good for life.
She said if she has kids with other. I mean, Dr. Dre has kids with multiple.
So let me ask: does it come with the whole giving you the money, or is it like? Because I feel like I would be that type of way too. Like where I'm like, I ain't gonna give you shit, but I'll take care of you. I'll make sure your house good. I'll make sure your car got gas in it. I'll make sure there's food everywhere. But just to be handing you change.
But why?
Half.
24 years.
No. I'm not a man. I ain't got no kids, so I don't know. But I'm just thinking in my mind, in my mindset, that's how I would think. The whole reason you would want half of what I have is because you want to make sure you're maintaining the same lifestyle. I can make sure of that without making sure you don't have my money.
Until someone else comes along and you're like, they have to then take care of me. Just give me what I deserve.
You think that will bother the other person, them taking care of you?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Who coming after Michael Jordan? Like, you gonna, nah.
Coming after Jeff
Who,
Bezos.
yeah, exactly. Who coming after this dude?
I got some
Who's coming
shame
after
to
him?
do.
Who will bait him?
It's
Who will bait her
just
after
like,
these brothers?
I don't.
No. The thing about it is, I'm not saying they're gonna amount to it, but the problem is that's not gonna be my problem. That's
But
how
God
I'm
forbid
thinking about
something
it.
was to happen to Dr. Dre. Whoever he's with next, if he marries somebody else or a girlfriend or whatever it is, it's like, I don't want that bitch taking care of me. Just give me my money. I was with you for 24 years. We had 2 kids.
Why would she be taking
I'm
care
cool
of
Just
you?
give
If
me-
you got
just-
kids, I'm cool with whatever you need. I'm cool with that part.
But
Whatever
but
you need
also,
and have are 2 different things. This is what I feel like we're hearing 2 different stories.
Okay, I'm cool
Cause
with.
half sound like pocket change.
I'm cool with. Matter of
Okay.
fact, no. It goes based off what you earned amongst that period of time.
What do you
You
mean,
technical.
I'm
You
talking,
real
I'm talking about-
technical.
Isn't that's how?
Look, he studied the laws.
No,
He
that's how
studied the
freedoms
laws.
work. It's
Y'all
like
not about to catch
it's about
me
what
up.
you earn. Whatever Dr. Dre earned between now and 24 years ago, but she's entitled to that.
And he became a billionaire in that time period.
Exactly.
And she
No,
entitled to
You're gonna have
half.
to break the headphones in half and just hand. He had one beat
At
headphone.
my
and
point, exactly.
She can.
So you're saying
cool.
you
I'm
agree
fine.
with
Yo, here you
the
go.
50-50.
Absolutely,
I'm cool with
100%.
that. She can. She can.
Because
cool with that.
during
Because
that
of the 24
time,
years.
And you agree with the
24
50.
years.
You don't agree with 50-50.
Not
Me
just,
either.
not just. That's why y'all sitting over there like that.
You
And make sure my
right.
GoPro is on me so you can see the
cool.
disgust in my face. Let me put my mic right
And I'm
here.
gonna say that because 24 years is a long time, and if I was on the other end, I'll probably expect a certain amount too. No, I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
Trust me, I don't want it all. I ain't gonna lie. I'll probably go for the top and then get what you can get. Okay. But in the sense of thinking like, we didn't get up and go to work together.
How do you know?
We didn't. I don't know, but I'm sure if I can ask her probably 3 technical things about what he had to do, and she probably can't answer a damn question. I'm gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that she can't. But as far as the work ethic and the stuff that was there, it was Dr. Dre.
But in acrimony, you believe that she deserved half.
I believe
of
that
what,
she deserves some money, not half.
But she got 10 million.
Some
But she
money.
got 10 million,
That's some money.
and that's all she deserved.
I think
She
did
left.
right by her.
He did right by her. She left.
Oh, that's what you believe.
Yeah.
Oh, she
got. I
left.
wouldn't say she got what she deserved, but she left him, so she got what he did right by her. He did
I'm just
a
saying,
good deed.
like-
If she would have left and he would have never repaid her, she would have just had to live her life.
Let me look
bitter
at my
and
facts.
She's divorcing him too. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Oh, she divorcing
If he
Dre.
was
And
divorcing
why-
her,
No, this is the
I
movie we're
think-
talking about.
I think he should be penalized. But
Who?
if she's divorcing him,
You talking about
Dr.
Dre?
Dre.
his
wife.
wife.
Why is she divorcing him?
We don't know.
To reconcile.
But if it's not like
Detox.
him leaving her and just leaving her like, you know, if it's like, hey, he's not the man I want him to be, but I need half of everything, that's just like, oh, I'm done and I need some. No. I'll make sure everything you got is good.
Yeah,
So do you
she
think
left
that?
him?
So if he cheated, do you think she deserves half?
Oh, if who cheated? Dre cheated?
Yeah.
Oh no, hell no.
No.
Wait,
no.
what? Wait, what?
$500 million.
$500 for some cheating?
For
$500 million?
cheating?
No.
For some cheat.
And they don't have an agreement?
Ain't no.
No.
If he cheated on his wife,
So on the flip side, if she cheated on him, does she deserve nothing?
Thank you.
Nothing.
she wouldn't let that be found out. What y'all talking about? What y'all talking about? What y'all talking about?
I think if she cheated, then I agree with you.
Yeah, that's real talk.
So let me ask you guys this: you're married, maybe not at the time, but do you see yourself as like a level up? Like, I'm the shit.
No.
What's a level up?
No, because we came up with
Like I can upgrade you, and that's what I'm doing. And
we both want.
And if somebody becomes my partner, they have to recognize that.
No, we came up together, but
Yeah,
my man
it's different.
He got
life different over here.
He got penthouses and Porsches. That's a level up for a lot of people.
I'm just saying, whoever like, when it comes to dating and the level upping, it's like, yo,
You need a shot?
Yeah.
Bros are stumbling over there. Let me get you this right here.
Hey, save by the shot. Save by the shot.
Yeah.
You want to hand me
Ask
that?
that question again.
Hand me that right
Run it
there.
back. Say it again. No, I'm just saying because of your level, where you guys may view success, do you consider yourself
actually
a
really
level
good.
up? And when I say a level up, for the average female, you know, with the wine and dine, the luxury cars, the city living or whatever type of living, the big houses, the things like that. If somebody were to date you, being that you're the one that's not married in this situation, do you see yourself as somebody who is a step up for somebody, and do you want your partner to recognize that?
Woo. Just going my prior history, no and no. They will realize it based off my actions.
Realize what?
They'll realize what they're dealing with based off my actions.
And you don't look at yourself as a level up, is what you're saying.
I don't. Like,
You look at yourself as a lifestyle.
Dude, yo. Like, I'm just regular. I'm chilling.
You are
just,
Regular level up.
He's pretty regular.
The
I'm
lies,
chill-
the
I'm
lies
chill.
are.
It's
The
the
way
fact
I
of-
will say, the way
it's
he
just the
lives
fact
his
is-
day-to-day life is pretty normal.
It's normal.
When you say normal, how many times you left this country in the last 2 years?
2 years.
This year don't count.
This
Well,
is
this year, I'm about to
20
say this year.
All right, let's
it
what are we in?
helps.
2020?
Yeah, 20.
Ain't nobody do nothing in 2020.
All right, so
2019 and
2019.
18.
Dog, I'm not gonna lie. I had
With your passport stamps
ain't gonna
looking
lie. I
like.
had one more page left.
Hey,
The passport.
That's a level up.
Damn.
I had one more page left. I had to
Oh.
go get. I was like, yo, I gotta get the
That's
passport.
a level up. The average person
Yeah.
only got a
But
passport.
to hear him talk about, well, yeah, that's a level up. Because from outside looking, it's like, oh, he's taking trips. But to hear him speak about,
What is he doing?
He's taking trips. But to hear him speak about it, on like just being his sister, it doesn't sound like trips. It's like, yeah, I'm about to go to work.
Yeah,
Like they don't. I won't say they don't sound fun. I know he
You're right.
enjoys himself now, but it's like these are work. You could tell the work trips from the fun trips.
Exactly. But the thing is, honestly, I do think like one thing I realized with women is that, not women, but with myself, is that I take myself very seriously. So I'm very in tune with what I have going on with myself. And when I'm dating now, when I'm dating, it's like I care. I do care a lot. But at the same time, I'm not going to give you the treatment likely that a guy that's been like after you forever is going to give you.
So you do consider yourself a level up?
I'm not a level up. I'm just got a lot going on over here. So just know that I might not be able to give you everything that you're looking for, but just know where my heart is.
So where does your stance stand? Where do you stand in a relationship as far as your sacrifice and what you're willing to give to somebody?
Oh, I'll give him yo. Matter of fact, my girl knows right now. Yo, Landy knows I will give her like anything. Like I would do anything for you.
Just not right now.
Oh yeah, you can get it right now. It's the fact of I'm not going I just can't do just anything just because what you think, what your perception might be of me. Like just because you saw this doesn't mean you about to get this too. So for me, it's like you saw me bust a flip. I'm still I don't want to say cheap, but I'm still very tight with my money. Super tight.
Yeah, you're not. He has never been
tight.
cheap.
Everything
And the
that
thing
you
about it is the stuff that he'll have on be expensive, but he would have bought it 2 years ago.
2 years ago,
last
or you would have
year.
called. Like you best believe
On a
Ian. Like
sale.
if Ian got, I want y'all to know, if Ian got it. Ian got a deal. Like Ian got a deal.
Bargain baby.
Like Ian got a deal. So it's
Hey,
like
Mom.
if you see it, it's like I got a deal. Or if you see me traveling somewhere, I'm traveling on American Express points. I ain't paying for nothing. I haven't paid for travel in years.
Facts.
So it's like I'm not.
Hey, I do that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it looks. I know it. I mean, it is expensive at the end of the day, but at the same time, I'm just not loose with my money at all. Like I'm not loose with it. So it's like
I'm glad to know my brother's not tricking off. It makes me excited.
You ask me for $100.
No, I'm serious. It does. It makes me ecstatic that because Atlanta is such a city that you can get caught up in, and with the type of females that you have around, and it makes me excited to know
He
ain't tricking off. We ain't gotta waste no moolah. Okay, I ain't mad.
I pay for some nails and feet though. That's my shit.
He paid for my lashes. I ain't mad.
That's the most like you know what I'm saying. Like I'm just super tight on money still. I'm to this day.
Must run in the family.
I'm just not loose. It's hard. I'll question every dollar that leaves my pocket. Like yo, why?
Sounds like my dad.
What? Huh? What, that makes
Or
sense
his
today?
cousin.
Can't wait till next week.
Sounds like
I'm just
sounds like my dad. You sound like your father.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for what? That's like for what reason? It's like, for what?
And the thing would be sitting there looking at the money too.
Yeah.
For what? What you need all this money for?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Don't you know gas prices go down tomorrow, right?
Oh, gas
But I'm
prices.
just tight.
Oh, that's cool though. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm
Nobody's
thinking
You
hurt.
real happy.
Damn.
Yeah,
Glad
I'm out
everybody
of
got their head on straight.
Don't say
That's my. That's
her.
what. That's.
She don't wanna be sick.
I'll tell you this though. That's the one thing I'm happy I didn't worry about you about, because I was always like, growing up, we've always with Adrian, it's always been like, that's your little sister, whoop de whoop. But at the same time, I've never in my life had to worry about her. It's always been like I just know she ain't gonna fuck. She ain't gonna.
What, selling her body or tricking?
Nothing. I just
Or
know that
anything.
she wasn't gonna get picked on. First of all, she wouldn't get picked on, but at the same time, it was the fact that like I just knew I didn't have to worry too much. Like there wasn't anything I had to physically be like, yo, my sister might just mess this up or do this or do that. It was never aware. It's always been like, yo, she like Asia's smart. She's smart. So we come from
Thank
very
God.
street smart people. Thank God.
Right. Hey, mom. Hey, mom. So yeah, no, that was great. I'm just glad we ain't got to worry about none of that.
Yeah, but half
Beneficiaries
for what I
everywhere.
did. Half is still.
Half is a lot.
Still a lot. I would give it up, but it's still like, yo, come to the court.
But
cut this shit.
We're all
I say
not
all that,
Jeff.
But I say like, I knew if I was getting married with someone who I'd be willing to give half up for.
You would have to know that before
I'd have
the
to know that
situation.
before. That's the only way I'd get married. If
You
not, why
lucky.
get married?
Well, I mean, we ain't had shit when we met each other. Like,
She's like, how lucky am I?
like we, but
I give up half though.
prenups.
Cool. We gonna check back after you had them kids.
Prenups.
Yo, thank you. Come holler at me later.
Check back after you had them kids.
So do you believe in prenups? Because they do have a prenup.
Who got prenup? I'm married.
Oh, Dr. Dre and his
Dre.
wife, they have a prenup and she still wants half.
She asked the judge to look at it closer.
Oh, no. I can't even lie. If I was in her situation, I'll go for the two.
I mean,
I'll go for up here just to
I
see
would
what I
drop
can
leaving
get.
prenups. I
I ain't
do,
even gonna lie.
but
Don't
and
short
I
sell
believe in
yourself.
honoring them too. It's just the fact of like everyone got their own thing.
And
Do you
I
believe
guess
in
it's
prenups?
situational too, because he may
Right, I
really
guess
not
not.
like
We
his
don't-
wife either. Like we don't know. He may really not like her no more, and that can be a horrible situation too.
But she asked for the divorce. So she,
He may still not like her. I've always made it a point to say any relationship that I have, anything you may be feeling, I may be feeling too. Whether you think I like you all the time, I may not like you today.
Who's over there?
I don't care. Okay? I don't care. I've always made it a point to say whatever you may be feeling, I may be feeling as well. If you want to step out, just know I might be stepping out tomorrow. You step out today, I might be out tomorrow. You may be feeling some type of way today, I might feel the same way. Just because you decide to hold on to the feeling doesn't mean that I'm not feeling the same way, whether you decide to discuss it or not. So just before you do something stupid, check with me. Make sure I ain't did it first.
I mean, Drake could have been.
Oh,
hello.
Hey, but real talk. But Drake could have been on his like it's cheaper to keep her kind of thing. So I'm not sure. I gotta look at the details.
oh yeah, that's true.
I gotta kind
That's
of look
true.
at. I don't know the story, but I gotta do some digging if I.
Especially if the kids are grown. 24
But it
years,
might be
2
cheaper to keep her,
kids.
yo.
cheaper to keep her, especially early on.
Because you ain't going to get too much money, huh? They not young.
Like, under 18? Like, what are you taking care of? You
I
can
don't
get that
know.
money directly to the kids.
I hope I never have to be in a situation to where I stress somebody else about money like that. God, listen. Please.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the time. Okay? So
This
that's cool,
has been
though.
real.
It was. I appreciate you guys for the conversation. It's been great.
Thank you for having me.
This was good. Insight to the entrepreneur of the world, you guys.
And the come up.
And the come up.
Yudu don't believe in half.
Half.
You got something to think about.
Right, I believe in half. I think it's half or nothing.
You the only one who get to go half with him, so you should be blessed.
Yeah, half or nothing.
Hey. You're welcome.
Count your blessing.
Half, yeah.
Seriously, the conversation is always
But we talk
necessary.
about this all the time, right? So you have kids. So you leave a plethora of money to your kids. And they get married.
That's
and someone
hard.
just come along
That's
and divorce
hard.
them and take half of what you left them.
I would drop kick somebody's wife.
That's a good question. That's a good damn
And
question.
we talk about this all the time, and
Cooper
it's
ain't going for it. Thomas gonna be the one crying. Y'all gonna have to talk to him a little bit.
What's
Jay
Jaden gonna
money.
do?
Wave the heat.
She gonna ask questions. She around for the
Jay gonna be
conversation.
out
I
here
feel like
just-
she gonna ask the questions and gonna say no at the end of the day. I have faith.
Let's all pray for our
Let's all pray. But Thomas, he's a lover boy.
Glory to Allah.
Thomas is a lover boy. He's
Yeah,
gonna be the
I
one in
think-
love.
It's something that I really, really struggle with because it's like, all right, like we're really building, and I'm looking at that Walmart. What is it?
Is there a
Yeah,
way so basically marriage drops all those walls for whatever you may have considered yours?
Yeah.
Emotions.
Oh, I don't know.
Emotions drop.
No,
those
not
walls.
emotions. I'm saying marriage. When it's time, once you sign the papers and your certificate becomes public info.
But if you have a prenup, it doesn't drop.
But obviously she telling him to look into it a little bit harder. Like
Oh, you talking about home?
I'm just saying.
I'm talking
in
about my
general.
kids.
That's what I'm saying. So like he said, if you were to leave your children a bunch of money and somebody were to come along,
The
that
Vanderbilts,
money,
the Rockefellers.
that money that you put into your child can't be protected by your own will or something
Yeah,
like
you-
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you put it through your trust.
Okay.
Through your
See?
trust, but it's basically like forcing your kids to sign a prenup if they ever were to get married to someone.
Well.
And it's something that I really, really struggle with.
Well.
It's something that I
It's
struggle
16th
with.
birthday. What y'all doing? Signing the paper. Ready to sign them papers?
It's something that I struggle with, that we both struggle with, because it's like, all right, well, we want them to be happy, we want them to find love, and I think that money sometimes gets in the way of that, prenups, papers, and all of that. I don't think that we would. I mean, I am who I am,
I
so
think
I
it's
probably
hard
would
to
have been
get a
just skipping
a
across
get a
the
kid
glass
to
window. Like,
appreciate money.
I wouldn't sign a prenup though, to be honest.
You
But
say you wouldn't?
I believe in him, but I wouldn't sign it. I'd be like, yo, whatever, yo.
You wouldn't sign
I feel
it.
like if you've gotten me to the point where we're about to get married, I might not need one.
Yeah, I'm not here. Yo, you got it, yo.
Marriage?
Here, so.
You willing to give up half?
I just gotta make it back.
With
Like,
kids?
yo, I just gotta make it back. So if I have kids,
With
yeah,
kids.
with kids. It's
See,
like,
you make
help
sure
the
you
kids
add that in.
And like one thing I'm realizing about living with the woman is that I'm really realizing how important that significant other is to me. So it's like that. It is like it's worth it in the day. I can't bear all my feelings up when I go to the courthouse and like I'm trying to divorce your ass. But my feeling, I know how I felt in certain moments, so I know it's important. Like I know it's important. So that's me personally. I don't got Jeff Bezos' money.
Not yet.
I'm so sick of
He made
seeing
it
back.
he can
He made it
spend
back. That's what I'm saying. I
$57
gotta make
million
it back. That's
every
all I
single
gotta do.
day
I
for
gotta
the
make
next.
it
Or
back.
no, he can spend
$1
$1 million for the next
I gotta go get it
300
back,
or
yo. I
57
gotta go
years
get it
and be
back. That's all I know. I was like,
because he has so much money.
I'm
I'm knocking on his
until
door.
half gonna leave me. I gotta get it back, yo. But
Jeff, you home?
that's a real dude right there, yo.
Can I get $1?
Yeah, we'll talk.
You like cake?
I'm not gonna lie though. If I get divorced, you can't use none of my shit though. Like you can't. Jeff Bezos' wife can't use nothing Amazon related. Don't get on my platforms. Don't get a Fire Stick. Don't get nothing. I don't want you on Prime TV.
She can't wait.
I want you. No, I want you using Amazon servers. Nothing. The cloud.
She can't order.
Nothing. Nah, eBay. Go somewhere else. Yo.
How much? She owned a bunch of that stock too.
Yeah, she owns the stock.
He said, "Look, I give up the money. I'm gonna be salty though."
Yeah, I'm gonna be salty. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be salty. Don't use my lingo.
Not the lingo.
Don't use none of my.
Don't keep my last name. None of that. Cause they good for that.
Nah,
Keeping the last name.
Oh,
prime.
I'm
now.
keeping the
Nah,
last
use that.
name.
That's your issue.
What was you about to say, Yudu? You say what?
What's your name?
Davina Gray. Stop, get out my business. I gotta change it.
I'm gonna say change it first.
What?
How long y'all been married?
7 years. There's a lot of people who haven't changed their last name.
Okay, Kamora Lee Simmons. Okay.
I mean, I just got a wedding ring, 5 years in?
And you got 2 kids.
Yeah.
What's up?
All right, I'm about to change your stuff.
Next
Does it
time we
bother
come
you?
back, she'll be a gray.
You don't care at all?
About what?
Because I met you as Davina Thomas.
You
guys are weird.
Yeah.
Facts.
Is your name gonna be hyphenated?
Nah, I'm gonna drop it all together.
That's exciting.
Drop Thomas all together.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Marriage.
We don't even wear
Represent.
wedding rings.
Everybody know y'all together though. They
Everybody
don't
know y'all
count.
together.
I said they don't even count. Like
Now they do.
You see one.
Now they do. It took what?
took who?
Yeah,
every-
thank you.
Well, took who? What?
We were a year into,
Marriage?
no, it was right before we got married that like the interns and people at the studio knew that
Well,
we were
y'all were
together.
supposed to be
That's
kissing
the
at the studio.
That's work.
Don't nobody care about them.
He was supposed to be holding my hand.
In the booth.
I want to cuddle at work.
Everybody can see your face, Shooter. You're not supposed to be making. He's like hands. COVID.
Oh, you don't do PDA? You don't do
What's that?
She don't even look like PDA.
hold hands. No, like,
What?
Look, she like yeah,
I'm
look.
just saying, she don't do that. She don't, no, you don't do PDA.
Yeah, we do.
Public displays of affection.
Oh, that's what that means?
Yeah.
We ain't never done that before. What? That's a thing? You're supposed to show affection outside?
Outside.
Y'all are
That's
funny. That's
Everybody know
No,
that.
we have.
At your wedding
At the wedding, we kiss each other.
7 years ago.
Jay said y'all don't show any affection. Do y'all even like each other?
At the house.
Huh?
She did ask us that.
She did. She said, do y'all even like each other? Y'all don't show any affection. She's like, we do. We show a lot of affection.
Keep it
We
1,000
talk.
We have we're like, hey, good
We live
morning.
together.
They be texting in the house.
Coffee.
They be texting in the house. Keep it on it. Be in the house on Skype.
Right. You upstairs. That's romantic.
Wink. Emoji.
Y'all are funny.
We show a lot more affection now than we ever had before, though. Like
That's
within the
good.
last, 2 years?
How about say 4 months we've been in the house?
Probably. Since this whole lockdown. I love you, boo. Fine.
That's
All right, y'all. All of our batteries are probably dead.
Dead.
You can probably only hear the audio by now, but this was a lot of fun.
It was.
Hey,
Long
clap it up,
awaited.
clap it up.
We'll be back in 50 more episodes.
All right. Come on.
Hey, we did it.
Yo, 50. This is what, 51?
Yeah.
Something
No,
like
seriously,
that.
we did it.
This is
Thank you
005.
guys. This is I'm not gonna call you the help, but management and the marketing. Management and marketing.
Yo, the come up is real.
No, seriously.
Everybody
it
needs
is.
a
Y'all
team.
keep watching,
I gotta
like,
put some lights
comment,
on
subscribe. That was a ring.
Oh, that's it?
Subscribe is the bell.
No, that's a notification.
Same
thing, I guess.
Yeah, you get the.
Hey, we're trying to get it down.
We're still getting it down pat. But now you got to see the faces behind the, not the camera, But
behind
the boards.
us, yeah.
Oh, that's the camera the whole time?
Pushing us, yeah.
Oh.
That's the camera. You got a camera right there. You got a
There's
camera right there.
cameras.
Mic stands.
There's fruit, botanicals.
Yo, we got roses and stuff. This is the come up. Yo, thank you guys so much for being here. We really, really appreciate it. Do you
Hopefully
have
this helps
Instagram
some.
or anything? Are you out there in the world?
Follow the podcast. Follow
I know that.
YouTube.
No,
follow.
that's right.
Go follow the podcast.
A podcast about everywhere.
It's lit. I'm just Ian Scott. That's it. That's all.
Don't look for me on
Mr.
Don't look for
Gray.
me nowhere.
Same
At
way.
a podcast about.
Yeah, that's all. I'm
Hey, that's how you know it's the team.
I'm checking in the morning.
Exactly.
Lord.
Y'all, please follow us so we get in trouble. Please.
We get in trouble. I mean, all the time.
Hey, before we get in trouble.
And follow us. Yeah, we have a TikTok.
Question of the day.
Question of the day.
We're going to get everybody.
Ask a question and then answer it.
Respond to the ones we got.
Pretty much. Everybody just looking and staring like, all right, we got 1,500 like views, but can somebody answer the question?
I promise you, no question is a stupid question as long as APAN gets it.
Ooh, I like that. Let me write that down. I'm about to write it down. I gotta write all this stuff down.
No, seriously, we'll make it sound cool.
All right.
Because we still don't know where the astronauts
Yo, all right. Hey, press your button. We out.
Okay, thank you guys. Signing out. Much love to everybody.